Good morning, guys. This is Sarah. Today I wanted to talk to you about stress and anxiety. Today it is at an all-time high. It's pretty much an epidemic worldwide. There are so many things that are causing us more stress than ever before. Ironically, even though life is easier in many ways, it's definitely harder in emotional and mental ways these days, as well as our lack of time. We have machinery that does so much for us and technology, but we are so stressed. We don't have time and we're overwhelmed. So many people even say that they're overwhelmed to the point that they have to psych themselves up to even go take a shower. So self-care is really hard for people, and their stress and anxiety is at an all-time high. But I wanted to bring a few points that might help you with this. Live in day-tight compartments. What does that mean? It means don't borrow stress from yesterday and bring it into today. And don't go into the future tomorrow and borrow stress from the future and bring it into today. Because when you're borrowing it from the past, you're just reliving it. And when you're borrowing it from the future, you're experiencing something that hasn't even happened yet. And for all we know, it might not even happen the way that you're imagining that it will. Matthew 6:34 says, "Never be anxious about the next day, for the next day will have its own anxieties." Sorry, my computer's shaking as I'm scrolling down on my notes. Mark Twain has an awesome quote that I've thought of so many times throughout my life. He says, "I am an old man and have known a great many troubles, most of which never happened." So that's how it works out. We anticipate the worst, we live it emotionally and chemically in our body with all the stress, and then it never even happens. So that's just such a waste of our mental and emotional energy and even physical energy. It's a drain on our systems. So what can we do? Well, we can have confidence that it has always worked until now. Somehow we made it this far in life. It's always worked out. And it will always work in the future as well, going forward, because it always does. It always just seems to work out. So there's a component of faith there. I know for myself, having confidence in a higher power really helps me because I know that God listens to my heartfelt prayers. So what is important to me is also important to Him. Just like a real loving parent-child relationship, He cares about our feelings and what we're going through. So when you are feeling stressed and anxious, do as 1 Peter 5:7 says, "Throw all your anxieties upon Him because He cares for you." And notice it says all your anxieties. There's no anxiety or concern that is too small. He cares about all our anxieties, and He requests that we throw them. Don't just give them and take them back. No, throw them as far as you can onto Him because He's wanting to take that burden off of us. And then another favorite scripture is Isaiah 41:10. It says, "Do not be afraid." I mean, that's a command right there. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. Do not be anxious, for I am your God. I will fortify you. So that means to build up and strengthen. Yes, I will help you. I will really hold on to you with my right hand of righteousness. And sorry, I have a little cold I'm getting over, so I'm trying not to cough. But if you think about walking side by side with somebody, if they're holding on to you with their right hand, then they're grabbing your left hand. But now imagine you're in a hole or hanging over the edge of a cliff, better yet, and someone reaches out their right hand to you. You reach up with your right hand, and they pull you up over the edge of that cliff with their right hand. And that's what God is promising. I will really hold onto you with my right hand of righteousness. Another thing that I think about often is Peter, when he stepped out of the fishing boat that night and started walking across the water towards Jesus. He was able to walk across water during a stormy night because he kept his focus on Jesus. And that's what, through his faith, allowed him to walk across the water. But as soon as he lost his focus on Jesus and looked around at the waves in the darkness, he began to sink because he lost his focus on what his goal was and on Jesus, and instead started focusing on his fears. And so it's super important that we redirect our focus. So keep your focus on your goal and on the one who promises to supply you with strength, and you can succeed in conquering stress and anxiety, because instead of focusing on life's anxieties, you have replaced it with confidence by focusing on him. I hope this has been helpful to you guys, and don't borrow stress from yesterday or tomorrow. Live in a day-tight compartment. Like and subscribe and share if you found this helpful. Have a wonderful day. Thanks.